There is something quietly shifting in your life right now, and by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly what it means and what is about to happen for you as a Leo. This is not about vague predictions or empty words. This is about the very specific, very real turning point that is already beginning to form around you. You may have felt it already. A strange restlessness you cannot quite name. A sense that something is changing beneath the surface even when nothing visible has changed yet. That feeling is not random. It is not anxiety. It is not confusion. It is awareness, your deeper awareness waking up before your conscious mind fully catches on. And that is exactly why you are here today. There are 11 signs that a turning point is close for you, and each one of them speaks directly to what you have been experiencing. Some of these signs will surprise you. Some will feel deeply familiar, like someone finally putting words to something you have known for a long time but could not explain. Pay close attention to every single one of these signs because together they form a picture. A picture of the Leo who is about to step into something new, something more aligned, something that finally matches who you truly are. Do not look away. This is your moment. Sign 1. There is a particular kind of tiredness that has nothing to do with sleep. It is the kind of tiredness that sits behind your eyes, that settles into your chest on quiet evenings, that makes ordinary conversations feel surprisingly heavy. If you have been feeling this way lately, not physically drained but deeply tired in a way that rest does not seem to fix, then you are already living inside the first sign of a turning point. This is not a sign of weakness. This is not a sign that something is wrong with you. In fact, it is almost the opposite. When you reach that level of inner exhaustion, it means a part of you has been carrying something for a very long time. Something that no longer fits who you are now, something that was perhaps necessary once but has quietly outlived its purpose in your life. For Leo, this experience often comes at the exact moment before a great release. Think of it like a pressure that has been building slowly, so gradually that you barely noticed it accumulating, until one day it becomes impossible to ignore. Your soul, and yes, you have one Leo, and it is more powerful than you give it credit for. Your soul does not allow you to carry what does not belong to you forever. At some point, it creates this deep and undeniable fatigue as a signal, as a message, as a gentle but firm invitation to put something down. What is that thing for you? It may be a relationship that has been draining more than it nourishes. It may be a role you have been playing in someone else's story, a role that was never really yours to begin with. It may be an expectation you have been carrying, perhaps one that was handed to you long ago, that has never truly reflected who you are at your core. Whatever it is, the tiredness is the first clue. It is the first whisper that says, you are close to the edge of something old, and just beyond that edge, something entirely new is waiting. The turning point does not always arrive with fanfare and loud announcements. More often it begins in silence, in this exact kind of deep, quiet exhaustion that stops you in your tracks and makes you ask yourself what you actually want. Not what you should want, not what others expect from you, but what you deep down truly want. Leo is a sign of fire, of warmth, of radiant presence. And fire, when it has been burning low for too long, does not simply go out. It waits. It gathers. And then at exactly the right moment, it rises again, brighter and more focused than before. This tiredness you are feeling is not the end of your flame. It is the pause before the surge. It is the held breath before the great exhale. Trust it. Lean into it rather than fighting it. Because the turning point is not something that happens to you from the outside. It begins inside, in this exact quiet space where you have finally grown still enough to hear what your deeper self has been trying to tell you all along. The first sign has arrived, and that means the others are not far behind. Sign 2. You have started noticing things differently. Maybe it is the way the light falls through a window in the early morning, or the way a certain song catches you off guard and makes something stir in your chest that you cannot quite explain. Maybe you find yourself pausing in the middle of a conversation, genuinely wondering for the first time in a while what you actually believe, not what you have always said you believe, but what truly resonates with you right now, in this moment, in this season of your life. This heightened noticing is the second sign, and it is one of the most important ones. When a turning point approaches for Leo, the senses sharpen. Not in a dramatic or overwhelming way, more like the dial on a radio being turned just slightly, just enough, so that the static clears and a signal you have always been reaching for finally comes through with clarity. This shift in perception is not accidental. It is preparation. Your mind and your heart are beginning to attune themselves to a new frequency, the frequency of the life that is coming toward you, and in order to receive it, they are opening themselves more fully to what is real, what is present, what is true. You may find yourself drawn to quieter environments, to slower mornings, to conversations that actually mean something. You may find that the noise and distraction that once kept you busy no longer satisfies in the way it used to. This is not boredom. This is discernment. This is you beginning to taste the difference between what feeds you and what merely fills time. For Leo, this shift in awareness often comes hand in hand with a growing sense of authenticity. You start to ask yourself whether the life you are living on the outside matches what you know and feel on the inside. And for many Leos at this particular juncture, the honest answer is, not quite. Not yet. But almost. The beautiful thing about this sign is that it means your inner compass is recalibrating. Every time you notice something differently, every time a moment catches you and makes you pause, you are aligning yourself more precisely with the direction you are meant to go. The universe does not send turning points without first sending signals, and this heightened awareness, this new depth of noticing, is the signal being transmitted to you right now. Do not rush past it. Do not dismiss it as distraction or sentimentality. These moments of sharp, clear perception are breadcrumbs. They are leading you somewhere. And if you follow them, if you allow yourself to be guided by what genuinely moves you, what genuinely calls to you, what genuinely lights something up inside you, you will find yourself walking step by quiet step directly into the transformation that has been waiting for you. Pay attention, because the third sign is already stirring. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Sign 3. Something or someone from your past has been returning to your thoughts more frequently than usual. It might be a memory that surfaces without warning. A specific afternoon, a specific conversation, a specific feeling that you thought you had left behind a long time ago. It might be a person you once knew who crosses your mind at odd moments, whose name appears unexpectedly, whose memory carries an emotion you are not entirely sure what to do with. This returning of the past is the third sign, and it is one that deserves careful attention because it carries a very specific message. The past does not return simply to haunt you. When something old resurfaces at a time like this, at the edge of a turning point, it usually returns for one of two reasons. Either it is showing you something that was left unfinished, something that still carries energy and still needs to be addressed, or it is showing you, by contrast, exactly how far you have come and exactly what you no longer need to carry forward. For Leo, this can be a deeply emotional experience. You are not a sign that easily lets go. You love deeply, you invest fully, and when something or someone has meant something to you, that meaning does not simply disappear with time. It lives in you. And that is not a flaw, it is actually one of your greatest gifts. The depth of feeling you carry is part of what makes you remarkable. But at a turning point, that depth must be directed wisely. The memories returning now are asking you to look at them honestly. Not to relive them endlessly, not to idealize them or to punish yourself over them, but to truly see them for what they were. To acknowledge what was real, what was meaningful, what was painful, and what was perhaps exactly as it needed to be for who you were at that time. Because here is the truth. Every chapter of your past has contributed to the Leo sitting here today. Every experience, even the most difficult ones, especially the most difficult ones, has shaped the strength and the wisdom and the fire that lives inside you right now. The returning thoughts are not accidents. They are a kind of internal accounting, a final review of the chapter that is closing before a new one opens. What you will find if you sit quietly with these returning memories is that you already know what to do with them. You already know which ones deserve your gratitude and which ones deserve your release. And you already know that you are ready, truly ready, to step forward into what comes next. Sign 4. You have been craving stillness. Not the forced stillness of an exhausted mind that cannot keep going, but a genuine, almost spiritual desire for quiet, for space, for solitude that actually feels nourishing rather than lonely. This craving for inner peace is the fourth sign, and it is one that Leo does not always expect from itself. After all, you are a radiant, outward-facing sign. You are the one who lights up a room, who gathers people together, who generates warmth and energy wherever you go. Stillness is not something your sign is typically known for seeking. And yet here you are, drawn to it, Drawn to the quiet morning before everyone else wakes up. Drawn to the walk taken alone without headphones. Drawn to the evening that requires nothing of you but your own presence. This is significant. When Leo begins to crave stillness, it means something is being born on the inside. Something tender and new that requires a quieter environment to take shape. Just as a seed does not sprout in noisy, disturbed ground, the new version of you that is emerging at this turning point needs space, needs silence, needs the kind of inner stillness that allows new clarity to form without interference. Do not apologize for this craving. Do not let anyone convince you that withdrawing slightly, that choosing quiet over chaos, that preferring depth over noise is somehow unlike you. It is very much like you. It is, in fact, the deepest part of you making itself known. The Leo who is about to step into a turning point is not the same Leo who simply fills every moment with activity and output. This Leo is learning to receive as well as give, to listen as well as speak, to be as well as do. And that shift, that deepening, is one of the most powerful things that can happen to a sign as naturally gifted as you are. Because when your fire is not only expressed outward but also directed inward, when you begin to tend the flame that burns at the center of your own being, the light you generate from that place becomes something extraordinary, something steady, something that does not flicker with external circumstance because it draws from a source that lives entirely within you. The stillness is not emptiness, it is preparation, and the turning point it is preparing you for is closer than you think. Sign 5. Your standards have quietly risen. You may not have announced it. You may not have even fully registered it consciously. But somewhere along the way, in the recent past, you stopped accepting certain things that you once accepted without question. A tone of voice that once felt normal now makes something in you pull back. A situation that once seemed fine now feels clearly misaligned. A pattern you once participated in without thinking twice now makes you pause and then step back. This quiet elevation of your personal standards is the 5th sign, and it is one of the most telling indicators that a turning point is near. When the bar rises, not out of pride or rigidity, but out of a deepening self-awareness and self-respect, it means your sense of your own value has genuinely grown. And for Leo, this is monumental. You are a sign that has enormous capacity for generosity, for giving, for pouring yourself into the people and causes you love. But that generosity, when not matched by an equal sense of your own worth, can lead you to give far more than is sustainable. It can lead you to accept far less than you deserve, not because you do not know better, but because your love is large enough to overlook a great deal for the sake of connection. At a turning point, however, something shifts. The part of you that knows your worth, that has always known your worth even when it was not fully honored, that part begins to speak more clearly. And when it speaks, you listen. Not to become harder or more guarded, but to become more aligned, more honest, more true to the Leo who deserves the same quality of love, attention, and care that you so freely give to others. This rising of standards is not rejection. It is refinement. It is you beginning to create the conditions that a new chapter requires. A chapter where what surrounds you reflects who you are becoming, not who you used to be. The turning point cannot fully arrive until space has been made for it. And every time you gently decline what no longer fits, you are making that space. Sign 6. You have been feeling called toward something, a direction, an idea, a kind of life, that you may not yet be able to fully name or describe. It is more of a feeling than a plan, more of a pull than a clear path. You sense it in the moments between activities, in the quiet before sleep, in the spontaneous daydreams that arise when your mind is not occupied with anything specific. This sense of being called forward is the 6th sign. It is your future reaching back through time to let you know it exists, to let you know that something is waiting, something real, something worth moving toward. For Leo, this kind of calling is deeply connected to purpose. You are not a sign that is satisfied with a life that merely functions. You need your life to mean something. You need to feel that what you are doing, what you are building, what you are creating and expressing and sharing with the world actually matters, not just to you but to something larger than yourself. When this sense of calling intensifies, as it is doing for you right now, it means you are approaching the point where the life you have been imagining and the life you are actually living begin to merge. The distance between vision and reality starts to collapse. And while this can feel exciting, it can also feel slightly destabilizing, because closing that gap requires change, and change, even welcome change, asks something of you. It asks you to be brave, to step toward the unknown with the full radiance of your Leo fire, Not waiting for every condition to be perfect, not waiting for every fear to disappear, but moving anyway, because the calling is louder now than the fear. Trust this pull. Trust what calls you even when you cannot yet explain it to anyone else. Trust that the turning point is not accidental, and neither is the direction it is drawing you in. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Sign 7. Your relationship with time has been changing. Moments that once slipped by unnoticed are now catching your attention. You find yourself more aware of what you are spending your hours on, and whether that investment feels meaningful. You may have started questioning, gently but persistently, whether the way you currently fill your days actually reflects your values, your priorities, your deepest sense of what matters. This changing relationship with time is the 7th sign. When a turning point approaches, time feels different. It becomes more vivid, more present, more weighted with significance. Things that once seemed urgent begin to feel less important. Things you once postponed begin to feel genuinely pressing, not with anxiety but with a calm, clear sense of, this matters and now is the time. For Leo, this shift in time perception often arrives alongside a deepening awareness of what is truly finite. Life is not unlimited. Energy is not inexhaustible. The window for certain things is not always open. And this awareness, rather than creating fear, actually creates clarity. It focuses you. It helps you separate what is essential from what is merely habitual. It helps you begin to reorganize your inner world so that it matches what you genuinely value and genuinely desire. The turning point you are approaching is asking you to become more intentional, to use your fire deliberately rather than simply letting it burn in whichever direction the wind happens to push it. You have extraordinary capacity, Leo, but capacity without direction is just potential. The 7th sign is asking you to begin pairing your natural gifts with purposeful, conscious choices about where you invest them. Because when you do, when that fire is aimed, when that warmth is directed with intention, the results are nothing short of remarkable. Start now, not tomorrow, not after everything feels certain. Now, with whatever small intentional step is available to you today. Sign 8. People in your life have been responding to you differently. Some have drawn closer, sensing the shift in you even if they cannot name it. Others may have pulled back slightly, perhaps feeling a subtle distance they do not understand. And you may have noticed that new kinds of connections are appearing. Conversations that go deeper than usual, encounters with people who seem to reflect your own energy in a way that feels meaningful and timely. This shift in your relational world is the 8th sign. When you change, when something inside you begins to move and reorganize and prepare for a turning point, the people around you feel it even before it becomes visible. Energy communicates before words do. Presence announces itself before plans are made. And so the world of your relationships begins to rearrange itself to match who you are becoming, rather than who you have been. For Leo, relationships are everything. Connection is not a peripheral part of your life. It is central to how you experience your own existence. When you love fully. When you are loyal completely. And the thought of relationships shifting, even when the shift is ultimately right and healthy, can feel vulnerable, even a little frightening. But here is what the 8th sign is telling you. The rearrangement happening in your relational world is not loss. It is alignment. The people who are drawing closer are doing so because they recognize in you the same depth and intentionality that is awakening within yourself. And the people who are pulling back are doing so because they sense that the dynamic that existed before, perhaps one in which you were smaller, more accommodating, less fully yourself, is no longer the dynamic you are available for. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming true. And true, fully expressed Leo, radiant, warm, real, attracts exactly the kind of connection that genuinely nourishes. The turning point is also a relational turning point. Pay attention to who moves toward you in this time. They are part of what is coming. Sign 9. Your dreams have been more vivid lately, or your intuition has been sharper, or both. You may find yourself waking with a feeling you cannot shake, or arriving at a clear knowing about something before you can logically explain how you arrived there. Gut feelings have been arriving with more force and more frequency. This heightened intuitive awareness is the 9th sign. Before a major turning point, the layer of experience that exists beneath ordinary thinking, the layer that processes pattern and meaning and deep truth, becomes more active. It becomes more insistent. It begins to push information upward through dreams, through gut feelings, through those unexplained moments of sudden clarity that stop you mid-stride and make everything seem momentarily very clear. For Leo, intuition is not something that comes naturally to rely on. You are more accustomed to leading with confidence, with boldness, with the kind of decisive energy that does not always pause to consult the quieter inner voice. But at a turning point, that inner voice becomes impossible to ignore. And the reason it grows louder is precisely because the decision or shift or change that is approaching requires your deepest knowing, not just your most brilliant thinking. Trust what you are sensing. Trust the dreams that leave a residue of emotion on you long after waking. Trust the persistent gut feelings that keep returning, even when your logical mind tries to argue them away. These are not imagination. They are intelligence, a different kind of intelligence, but no less real, no less accurate. The turning point ahead of you is one that your instincts have already mapped. And the more you lean into that intuitive knowing, the more smoothly and powerfully the transition will unfold. Sign 10. You have been reconsidering the stories you tell yourself. The narratives that have defined how you see yourself, where you came from, what happened to you, what it all means, have been under quiet review. And in some cases, you have found yourself wondering whether some of those stories still serve you, or whether they have simply become familiar, and familiarity has been mistaken for truth. This re-examination of personal narrative is the 10th sign. It is perhaps the most profound one because the stories we tell ourselves are not neutral. They shape everything. They determine what we believe we deserve, what we think we are capable of, and what kind of future we think is available to us. For Leo, whose identity is often deeply tied to a strong self-concept, a specific, well-defined sense of who you are, this questioning of personal narrative can feel slightly disorienting. Because if the story changes, who are you then? The answer is, you are still you, but freer. The turning point that is coming does not require you to abandon yourself. It requires you to update yourself, to release the version of your story that was written by circumstances and other people's perceptions and old wounds that have since begun to heal, and to step into the authorship of a new story, one that is written by the Leo who is here now, who has grown and survived and learned and deepened, and who is ready finally to let that growth be reflected in the way life is lived going forward. The stories that no longer serve you are not required for your survival. They were protection once. They no longer need to be walls. This is the insight the 10th sign carries, and it is preparing the ground beautifully for what comes next. Sign 11. You are ready. You may not feel entirely ready. In fact, you may feel a great deal of uncertainty about what exactly is changing, about what you are moving toward, about whether you have what it takes to actually make this turning point real. But readiness, true readiness, is never the absence of uncertainty. It is the willingness to move forward in spite of it. And that willingness, that deep, quiet, unshakable willingness that lives in you right now, is the 11th and final sign. All the other signs have been preparing you for this one. The tiredness that asked you to put something down. The sharpened awareness that began to guide you. The returning past that clarified what was finished. The craving for stillness that made room for something new. The rising standards that created the conditions for a better chapter. The sense of calling that pointed your fire in the right direction. The shifting relationship with time that made everything feel more intentional. The relational rearrangement that surrounded you with more aligned energy. The heightened intuition that mapped the path before your mind could see it. The review of your story that freed you from what no longer fit. All of it has led to this. A Leo who is not simply hoping for a turning point, but standing exactly at the threshold of one. The energy around you right now is genuinely new. It is not imagined, and it is not wishful thinking. Something has shifted, and something more is in the process of shifting, and the direction is upward, toward more alignment, more authenticity, more of the radiant, purposeful, deeply alive life that your soul has been reaching toward. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are. The turning point is here. You are standing at the beginning of something extraordinary, and you are ready, more ready than you know.